is here. This is Saudi Arabia. As you crop into Saudi Arabia, this is what you will be seeing. All road leads to the big event where Andy and Anthony Joshua have their hands full. This is what it is like immediately you storm into Saudi Arabia. All is set for two men who everybody who knows about boxing and who doesn't even know about boxing all want to get a glimpse of. They are set, they are ready. In the studios with me is Idris Additional and of course ex-international, the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He is here with me, Tony. And all of that is all digging in, and we all are giving you all that you need to know. We hitting you from live studios from Heritage TV. We'll continue with the clips of Saudi Arabia and of course what is happening out there and how beautiful the city of Saudi Arabia is, where Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz Jr. are ready to take their part. As you know, this is the second time they are meeting. It has been tagged the Clash on the Domes, and tonight is a big night at the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Saudi Arabia. All is ready, and they said it is on the fine. Andy has 33-1 with 22 knockouts, while Anthony has 22-1 with 21 knockouts. Weighing 128.7 kg for Andy and 107.5 kg for Anthony Joshua. Only yesterday they have all did their weighing. This is what everyone is waiting for, and they said tonight is the night. And the studios will be ready to also give you all of that. If you remember, the last time they met was June 1 at Madison Square Gardens in New York, in one of the biggest upsets in the history of boxing. Joshua against Ruiz, Clash of the Domes. Indeed, the world awaits two men who truly have given their best. They leave no stones unturned for a day that almost everyone storms Saudi Arabia. And they say only those who truly enjoys and the gloves. And of course, they say the heat that most powerful can take will stay close to the ring. On that note, I welcome you to a program that truly should give you all that is happening in the world of sports. We will x-ray what has, what will, and perhaps what is happening in sports. Call your friends and neighbors if you can, and let's do this. It's a breakfast that truly should withhold. So much to truly talk about. Only yesterday we saw, the weighing for the boxing for Anthony Joshua and Andy. We will get to come back and talk about what truly should be happening in Saudi Arabia. But before then, we've been told, let's quickly run to Africa. We're told that in Nigeria, to be precise, they say Tokyo 2020 is very close. Instead of the athletes to begin to get the joy of the Olympic Games dragging close, rather it is the officials that are already tearing themselves apart. Information reaching me says there is now two factions of the Federation for Athletics. One is in Oka and another is in Abuja. If truly these officials are for the players, for the athletes, why where should there be two, if not for selfish interests? We'll get to also look at that critically. Talking away from Africa, heading to Sierra Leone, we've also been told that the Sierra Leone League has since started after the drama of their federation, T for no hampers. Anyway, the truth about it is that the fans all trooped out in their thousands to see their local players play. But then again, there wasn't any coverage. Football without coverage is truly something waste of time, in my own opinion. But we'll get to see how all of that translates. The CAF Champions League also came alive yesterday. We will give you a bite, if not a dose, of what truly transcends out there in Africa. And if we bring it to Europe, they say the die is cast for City to truly show that they want to, devour. As Liverpool are beginning to run away with the trophy now, City have their hands full against the United side that perhaps have the candle and come back from reckonings. We will look at the EPL because we fully charged for today's affair. This and many more. Only if you stay with me. I haven't changed my name, I won't. On the day I do, you will be the first to know. Chris Obuokwala is my name. Nice to know you joining us. Really delighted that you found the time to help us have a sip of tea, a coffee, or is it a cold drink you have, depending on the zone you are joining us from. Delighted indeed. Here with me are those who also passion for sports can't be thrown away. They're here to fire from all cylinders. From my far right, I have ex-international, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Tony Wigwe, is in the studio. Tony, another time to talk sports. And also we have here with us, he's the returnee, but he's not a happy man, I have to tell you, because Arsenal are on the bench. Arsenal are on the bench. They haven't found their city, not even their footing at all. So, anyway, gentlemen, welcome to ABC Sports.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Good. Without wasting time now, let's quickly give you that time to have a bite of things. Well, we'll take a break. We'll return with ABC Sports. Stay with us.
Ó ti yá. Gbogbo aláyẹyẹ pẹ̀lú ní pàtì àti ilé ìjọsìn ẹ fẹ́ ṣe polówó. Heritage TV. Heritage TV.
Wake the streets up. Okay. Wake the streets up. Okay. Come on. Okay. Wake the streets up. Okay.
Welcome back. Still your program, ABC Sports with yours sincerely, Chris Obokwalo. Without wasting time, let's get on with it. And the sports fans, football fans, those for Messi are already out of town. All the voying after the Ballon d'Or was hard, and it was Mercy who again from is it well deserved? That is the question everyone is asking, especially myself. Because in my own opinion, I think the young man from Liverpool truly, in my opinion, deserves it. But that's for me. FIFA perhaps have other ideas, and of course the voting also might have contributed to what has been done. So Lionel Messi, FC Barcelona, has simply taken it. Guys, this is it. The Ballon d'Or has been done, and of course Messi, no doubt, one of the best in the world. But is it well deserved in this area?
In my own opinion, it's an injustice of a decision, because I don't think Messi deserves to be this year's Ballon d'Or. When you look at the history of most of the people that have won this Ballon d'Or, it has to do with players that have given a lot of contribution throughout the season and then ending it up with the Champions League. And of course, I think Van Dijk merits that thing. Some people are arguing the fact that probably because he's a defender, and the defenders don't get the accolade that they're supposed to be getting on the pitch. Most times it's all the strikers because of the goals that they are scoring. So, and you begin to lean towards that direction of argument, when things like this happen. Then you ask, is it through the voting system? Who voted for Messi? Messi, last season, was more of a Spanish player than an international player. So how did he get to that? You don't give somebody based on his past records of achievement. Yes, he's a great player. He's done a lot for the game. So, and I believe that this is an injustice of decision against Van Dijk. And if there's a way to change this process, I think they should start looking towards that direction, because this is the first time they've given an award for Ballon d'Or and people are disputing it. People are wondering how did that happen. So I think they should look into this more and let us find out what really is the cause of this problem.
Yeah, I'm very happy you touched on a very salient point, that nobody's disputing the quality of Messi. No, on a one-on-one, everybody knows that when you talk Messi, you talk football. But we're not talking about Messi here. We are talking about an award, a global award. It saddens, but as we all know that we cannot divert football from politics. That's the nature of it. And whether we like it or not, there's this dichotomy between the Europe and British football. British football has the money, they have the glory, but they don't have the power when it comes to decision making. That is part of the problem we are having in Britain. It's part of the problem we are having in Europe. If you look at the European leadership, Britain is far away. The Premier League is far away from that. If you look at draws, sometimes you get to know that it's more about politics. But yes, within the football circle, it's politics. But within those who make the money, because it is the people who watch the football, who pay the price for this. Everything, no matter how global the award is, if the people are not there. You made in the intro, you said that Sierra Leonean went to the field without coverage. It's not, it's not good. So people deserve to truly have faith in the system. But it is very important to have faith, because football is full of injustice. That's why VAR had to come inside. It's full of injustice. So if you look at this of football, unfortunately, people are beginning to enjoy injustice in football. That they want that controversy to be part of football. That if there is no controversy, football is not football. That's the argument from those who don't like VAR. But the true nature of the fight is that it's been denied, justice has been denied here. VAR, let's break the jinx, for God's sake. Let the award come to, look, strikers are not the only footballer we have on them. You have midfielders. When strikers lose the ball, somebody does the cleanup for him. And those are the unseen hero of football. I'm sure in his heart, he knows that Van Gaal, who sat next to him too, is the owner of that award. In his heart, he knows that. But football is about brand, it's about politics, it's about money. That award now has opened many millions for those who have bet on him. So it's one of those things. But I hope, as Tony said, we begin to reevaluate the process again.
Reevaluating the process, does this simply mean that we want to do away with captains and people voting in? What you want it to be just the fans voting into the system?
I think the fans should have a majority of the vote because because the fans cannot tell you about the technical side of things. So you don't take away the coaches and the captains and the rest of them. But the fans should be given a chalk majority of the vote in terms of the publicity, which you would say, because if I'm a fan and I'm going to watch, I am going to pay my money to watch a game, and I'm going there to enjoy it. So, and if I go there and if I see something that I like, that will make me come back again tomorrow to watch the game. So that's why they should be given that opportunity also. So we should learn to now lean a little bit towards to the fans, because everybody around the world is surprised with this award. Even the fans there, everybody is protesting. No. Yes, it's high time. Ronaldo, Messi, they've dominated the scene for 10 years. They've given football the best publicity football can ever get. Because of them, money has come into football. Sponsors have come in. The Amazons coming in from nowhere. Yeah. So you see that there's a lot of money coming into football. This is because of, some part of it is majority because of these two guys. And FIFA wants to keep them still on, just to make sure that publicity is still there. The guys are not going to be there forever. But they are there. So why don't we use them to bring other people up? Van Dijk he's a player that has come into the scene. He's created name for himself. He's helped Liverpool get to the echelon of football. They've won cups. They've done everything. So when you look at it, you say, no, he deserves an award. And if you've given him that award, the world would have acclaimed that award together. And then that would have been the progress of football. In fact,
even in the football, see, I made mention of something that is just in passing, but it's salient as anything. Strikers are not the footballers alone on the pitch. It's a very important point there. You have the strikers who do they carry the ball from the defense to score? No. Every department of football has its own duty. And when a team fails, you see that certain departments have.
The truth about it, let's just be clear on it. The truth about it is that for this award itself, most analysts would think that the young man from Liverpool, Van Dijk, has since shown that this trophy truly belongs to him.
Yeah.
But as you have mentioned, perhaps with the voting system and FIFA trying to make sure that the Ronaldo Messi thing still lingers on because it brings more money in, let's just keep it alive, and thus perhaps making people feel that Ballon d'Or is some sort of a joke.
I don't think, that's my personal view. I don't think FIFA has a role here. I think with the voting system, you need to see the mentality of people.
Sorry, I'm not breaking you. Talking about the mentality.
How many goals? I'm not breaking you. Talking about
the mentality of people. What about the mentality of African players trying to vote and not even voting one of their own in?
That's the beauty of football. That is the beauty of football. Even on the pitch, when fans see good football, they quickly turn against their own club and start to aid the opponent. That is the beauty. I don't want us to segregate or make it sectional now. Forget divide the award. But when you are voting, there is this mental block that how many goals have they contributed. That's why I want this break to happen. The last winner was more of a striker or midfielder. They're still 1-on-1. If he comes back, we begin to appreciate that when the striker loses the ball, Messi lost the ball at so many stages, somebody retrieved the ball for him and kicked the ball again to begin the process of going.
You see, because there's a template. There's a template for voting. So that is the problem. That template is like how many goals? Yeah. What is the coverage he has covered on the pitch? Things like that. How many who he has taken on?
Yeah.
How many touches on the ball? All those templates does not reflect those secret workers on the pitch. I'm not recalling anything back, but let me recall a little bit back. Makalele. When Makalele was in Real Madrid was dominant as at that time. They have likes of Raul and the rest of them. So they were dominant. But because of one man, not that he's doing the entire, but because of the job that he's doing for all these other players to excel, the team was doing great. And these people were earning more money than him. But he was doing the dirty job. But when he now says, okay, I need a little bit of pay rise, they said, oh no, what are you contributing to the club that you need a pay rise? He said, okay, fine. If that is the case, that was where Mourinho came in, took him from Madrid and took him to Chelsea. Since that time till this current era now, Madrid struggled. You understand? So that's where my problem is. We need to go away from this template and then let us use the technical side of the game to look at the game.
And some have also argued.
Look at what Tony just. Let's mention what Tony said. We're talking of mental block. McLean was doing the job. People were taking the glory. They were paying those who are taking the glory more money than McLean said. That is where the mental block is. What are you contributing as a defender?
But then again, let's also add this to it. Does it matter if you played for just one club for a long? Just like Ronaldo has gone out to showcase that I can play anywhere in the world and I'll still have my name, crystal clear. But then again, Messi will be left arguing, I can play just in Spain and I'll be so fine. What do we have to do? What does that have to do with all of this? Does it really matter where you play? Does it? I mean, is that not the best way to do it? Some people want to stay in one club till a lifetime. Do you need to parade yourself to show your talent? I don't know. You guys have the floor.
No, I think there's a misconception there. The misconception is that you can still be a one-man club and then make sure that you achieve your whatever you want to achieve. But at the same time, also you can want to test yourself also, because sometimes moving from one club to another gives you the opportunity to assess your ability. You understand? So that is why a lot of footballers will rate Ronaldo more than Messi. You understand? Because Messi is in a club that is comfortable for him, in a league that is comfortable for him. He has not been challenged away from his comfort zone. But Ronaldo has shown that he can be able to meet up with all those challenges in 3 different leagues. From Britain to Spain, now to Italy. So, but Messi has gets stuck in one. And he has been playing in a kind of brand of football that has suited him. You understand? And with the caliber of players that he has in the team, he can succeed in any way. He can succeed.
Okay, guys, those bits of time. Let's move forward. Yes, what you is still ABC Sport is sincerely Chris Bukwelo and Anthony, and of course, not forgetting Idrissa. With me, we're looking at the Ballon d'Or, and of course, have FIFA made the right choice? That's the discussion we're having right now this morning. Unfortunately, I think with 5 beautiful, awards for Messi, the 6, sorry, please permit me, with the one they just added to it. What the guest here all said is that perhaps not, and the system has to change. Apart from Messi, Argentine, and of course the man who plays for Barcelona, another one who really took a trophy. Let's talk about the ladies now. Megan, she showed a beauty it is. A lady who has, been there in and out, and of course, American legend, if we have to do that. I mean, she also got her award as, I think this is the first one she is getting. I think the media also contributed to her getting that award. But we're not taking anything away from her. That's my own personal opinion.
No. She deserved that award because when you look at all her contributions through the years in terms of women football, whenever you mention the American team, you always mention Megan. So, and it's deserving now that at least she can be crowned the female footballer of the year, for the first time in her career. And every award that somebody wins, right, that is deserving, you see how pleasing it is to the fans, to the players, and to his or her co-players. So, and I think the whole world accepted that award, that she deserved it. Look at the World Cup when she had injuries. The Americans were panicking, but she played out of injury and she helped the Americans, regain the trophy. So, a good award.
If you look at his performance on the field of play,
Her performance.
her performance rather, I'm sorry, so I don't get caught up in it. But if you look behind her leadership role, that was more glaring even than the role he performed. You would think she was the coach. That is the acceptability, and that's the belief of her colleagues on the field of play. There's no controversy about that award for her, and that's why you've not seen it. Unfortunately, you struggle to find her name in the media. That's another funny thing. Everywhere you went on her name, you see Messi there. But there's no controversy about that award for her. She's almost 40, if not 40 now. A lady at that age that is so big. It's her, one person, the entire American hope. That's how dominant she is. And you've never seen any sign of tiredness in her. She has accepted responsibility that is mine, and I'm going to carry it. That is the courage and capability you find in somebody. If
you watch before the World Cup, she had a little bit of tag with Donald Trump. That would give you, and for Trump to answer that. For Trump to answer that now, that will tell you that how big that name is in America. For saying that even if America wins the cup and Trump invite them to the White House, that she would not go. And Trump said, so there are players who are the icons of the game, and if you're lucky enough to have them in your team as a coach, it makes your life easier and it makes your job easier. I think that is the caliber where she is for the American side.
Good. It's still your program, ABC Sports. We're talking about the Ballon d'Or and, of course, Megan, a lady born in 1985, if my brain is starting me right. And then FC is where she does her business and, of course, where the money rolls in from. An American legend, I tell you, truly deserved from every ramification. She has shown that truly could hold her own. Unfortunately, the media all panned through Messi and forgot there was a lady who truly can, hold her own. And, she has shown so much for the Americans, and she's still contributing, her quota. I think as of the last talk, she was talking about going back into coaching and to give back to the American people, and I think it fits her.
It's not about America. It's going to give back to the world. Because it's when you look at coaching, you will come across so many people in your life. Whether it's an American, America, the good thing about America is that they accept us as an American. But it's an embodiment of different culture, different people who have come to say, I will be glad to see her go back to coaching. Not because of the expertise, but see, there's something, leadership. Sometimes leadership is bigger than coaching. Because it gives you, when skills fails, sometimes it is the touch of leadership and the experience you acquire from the time that steadies the ship. That's what I'm finding now. And they give more than just technical aspect of football.
Just before you add more into it, that makes me just to quickly run back to Africa and ask the question. I mean, Megan has shown a lot of zeal. We all can, talk about her for a day. But then again, what are the African female footballers doing? Before you scream, the lady in Barcelona, Nigerian lady in Barcelona now.
Aisha.
Yes. Can they get to this stage of winning Ballon d'Or? Talking about the female football, and it's female football really well organized in Africa. If we have to be sincere.
No, let's be sincere, it's not. The male football side even has not been properly organized, not the talk of the female side of the thing, So we keep trying to imitate the West, and then, not knowing exactly how to fashion things to our own suitability, which is a problem for us. It's the same thing like I've been arguing, fighting for, like, take for example Nigeria now, league same time in Europe. You can't compete with that because of the marketing side of it. It's big. The Europeans will compress you. So what do? Is either you change your time slots so that when they're playing their own league, you don't have your this thing. When you want to play your own league, they are not on, so that you can marry the two sides, because you cannot compete because of we don't have the resources. So Africans need to find a way to promote the female football in Africa, to be able to give them that platform. You're saying your opening statement was that football without publicity is nothing. So, and if they don't have that publicity in Africa, most of all these people you see, all these ladies you see coming to play in Europe now, as a result of maybe going to a major tournament, that they see one or two of them, and then they bring them over. Some clubs take them over to Europe, and then they start playing. Then you start hearing about them. So it's going to be difficult if we have a proper league that is beamed up once in a while, or that is talked about once in a while, and then we can now go to Nigeria and ask them who is the female footballer in your state. They will not know, because the publicity is not there. So we only hear about them when they are coming to play for the national team.
Yeah.
So tell me how this publicity.
I'll give you one example. Beckham went on a small program in Africa, in one remote part of Rwanda. And as he was going in that bush, he saw a little boy wearing his jersey. He doesn't even know who that man is. He was wearing Beckham's jersey in that remote village. Was there no footballer in that town or in that country? But it was Beckham.
It's the mentality.
That is
what the media shows. What the media tells.
That's what the media show.
Yeah.
When you are talking of energy, body, skill, everything you're talking in football, African ladies have them. Where we have the money, are we going to put it in football?
Yeah.
No. Because it is a male-dominated thing. As beautiful as female football in Europe too, you still find a dichotomy there. Let them play. The last game they play against, last friendly we play is the highest they've had in even in Europe.
Let's not bring that in. It's your program, ABC Sports. Yes, Megan, big congratulations to her. And of course, when we talk about the Nigerian Football Federation and those who want to take care, in case you are interested in being one of the coaches for the Nigerian Football Federation, I think the forms are all out. Send your CV to them.
Maybe you should turn here.
No, Tony won't be interested because he doesn't want heart attack and heartbreak.
No, maybe they see him as an enemy.
Some of the coaches haven't been paid. They don't complain. Please, we don't want to get into that.
No, even if it's Tony, they will find a sponsor to pay him.
Anyway, we thought that Finidi George and the Olavijano, they might be getting into that Revorium. For them, I don't think the money should be the problem. The problem should be for them to just make the CV look good.
In reality, I would love them. I don't know how technically sound they are, but to have ex-internationals, a national policy of say, okay, Finidi is the coach now. Who are those who play with him? Are they into coaching? Where are they? Let's bring them.
It's good. It's good that because football, sports, needs the right people to be there for you to be able to succeed. It's just like when we were growing up as coaches, as players, you look at the coach coaching you
What is his
as
pedigree?
one big coach who played for. So
Yes.
whenever he says anything, you
You
believe
just
that.
immediately.
You understand? So people look up to you. So when you bring these guys in now, yes, they might not have the pedigree of becoming the best coaches in the world or anything, but there is what is called schooling. You can put them there, bring them to international courses, different
course,
parts of
yes.
Europe, Brazil. You push them into different places.
Although I have to say that Finidi George himself has gone attained to
I know.
such a height, but then again, I have my problems with him becoming a coach. Can he, after 2 years, deal with this NFF?
He was my roommate in the national camp.
Yeah.
We grew up at the same time. When he was in Calabar Rivers before he left and all the rest of it. So, but we were both roommates in the national camp. Yes, the thing is, he's been in Nigeria now for quite a while. So obviously he's learning. He should be learning into the system. But he has also coached the youth team in Spain. So he has coached the youth team in Spain. He has attached himself also to their main team. So he's gotten that experience. I also hear that the likes of Andrew who is in Germany also, is vying for position there. So it is time we start coming back home.
Tony, I'm not saying it's not right for people like you or other ex-international to go cluster around the NFF. NFF, in my own opinion, is rotten. You need a cleanse that should bring purity, cleanse that should bring, intelligent, entities who will come in and say this is how it is. We have people who are pretending to be what they are not. Scientific football.
Chris,
When? Where?
Chris,
How?
Chris.
Never happened.
Chris, I'm a PR man, and I know what image does to a team. If the rubbish in NFF rubs on local coaches, a national newspaper in Germany will not get involved. They will only say Nigeria has problem. But because the man there is a German, or the man there is a Greece, the man there is an Europe, the European people will get inside. The German people will pick it. British people will pick it. Because you are beginning to move from Greece now into entire European continent. And the entire media in Europe will descend on Nigeria. That is how bad. What has Roy done for us in how many years he's been there? But he's saying I'm leaving. You see what he has done in international media. Nobody said he has not achieved anything. Nobody said he has not done this. They said it's Nigerian problem again.
Anyway, guys, because of time, let's just move forward because if we sit here with the Nigerian problem, we might not exceed. Remember, tonight is the night, no doubt about that. Anthony Joshua, he has his hands full against Andy Reid. We won't get to talk about that, but now let us quickly shift a bit into the full boxing. Before we get to Saudi Arabia, let's talk about that, which is happening very soon. As you know, Dan Aziz is another man who he has been here almost all the time. He comes to us to tell us exactly how he is faring on. And we've been told he has another coming in next week. But before I bring him in to talk to us, let's quickly say a very big thank you to all of you who came to his fight, 2 weeks ago or thereabouts. We called on you to go support him. You went out there and showed the Nigerian flair. Now he is back. This fight is one that should perhaps prove who he is. Let's first welcome him into the studios. Hello, Dan. If you can hear me sound and clear, it is your program, ABC Sports. How are you doing, Dan?
It's a pleasure always coming on the show.
Good. Dan, I know that there are plenty things to truly talk about. Dan, please tell me how you getting ready, because I know next week you have your own handful against your opponents.
Yeah, I'm just finished my last hard week of training, so just getting ready for my fight for the English title next Saturday at Brentwood in Essex. Yeah, I feel good. I feel like I've done everything I've needed to prepare for my opponent, and yeah, hopefully we just look forward to the win.
Dan, this is one of your biggest fights in our calculations I'm not trying to put pressure on you. They call you the knockout man, a man who doesn't waste time in sending them home. What are we expecting in this particular one?
To be fair, my next opponent, he's also a very good opponent. He's never lost, just like myself. So I expect it to be a tough, difficult fight for myself. But this is what happens when you start climbing the ranks and you're getting on bigger stages and whatnot. But essentially, I still expect myself to have my hands raised next week. So yeah.
How is the preparations? How are you getting on in terms of training? Is everything intact? We just want to know the training procedures. What have you been doing?
Yeah, everything's been fine. Mentioned, was it 2-3 weeks ago? I thought so. It's not a long time that I stepped into the ring. So just continuing from my last fight, keeping everything intact. Yeah, everything's been okay. It's just about fight night now. All the hard work's been done. I feel good. Yeah, and I'm ready to rock and roll. December 14th.
Good. The Nigerian, viewers and those who support are beginning to get also excited about another young man coming up to the raids. I mean, the last time they came out to support, I guess you also want them to come again come December 14th.
Yeah, definitely, man. The more support, the better. I always embrace everyone who comes out to support me. So yeah, last time when I boxed, I think I was on the same card as Larry Akondayo, and he had a lot of Nigerian fans, and everybody come out, and the atmosphere was wicked. It was good. It really pushes us and makes us want to perform better for the fans and support. So yeah, the more people that come out, the better.
Good. Okay, let me quickly divert now. Your senior brother has his hand full this evening. It's a bout that everyone is really looking forward to. Anthony Joshua and Reese. Your take on that?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, but essentially, I think Joshua should get the win. Last time out, he wasn't. I think he was not overlooking Ruiz, but he thought it was going to be a walk in the park. This time, I think they've been very meticulous in their training. They've brought in new coaches. Well, one new coach, some sparring. I think this time they're more well prepared for Ruiz, and as you can see, Joshua's lost weight as well, so I think he's going to try and be a bit more agile. And yeah, essentially, I think maybe a late between 8 to 10 rounds KO for Joshua.
Good. We've also been told that there are plenty of people, storming down there to support Anthony Joshua. Lawrence is also there. I mean, you have some names that have gone down to show some support.
Yeah, Lawrence is down there. A good friend Joshua Boatsi is down there. I was there myself, but as you know, I'm getting prepared for my fight next week, so I couldn't really make the trip. But yeah, a lot of people from the UK, all over the world, have gone down there to support. It's like one of the biggest fights, heavyweight fights of like the century, so it's not one to be missed.
Good. If I might say, let me take your predictions. When do you think there's going to be any knockout? And I know you will say AJ will win because of the ties, but then again, anyone falling in this one?
Yeah, no, definitely. I believe it will be a late.
If we go a distance.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's gonna go the distance. I think Joshua will take him out the late stages of the fight, between 8 to 12 rounds.
Wow, that's your prediction.
Yeah.
All right, Dan. I want to thank you very much, and of course, wish you the best in your 14th fight. Please, let's see you immediately after that fight, if you can. We want to bring you to the studios.
Thank you, Chris. No, are you going to be at my next fight?
Yes, of course I will. Why not? What am I doing here? I'm going to come and support you, isn't it?
No problem. Then
all the best, man. All the best. All the best.
Take care. See you. Bye-bye.
Oh, brilliant young chap he is. Dan Aziz, please, if you can, next week we have to all cluster around and show him support that truly deserves. Tony, he has always been here.
Yeah.
He will get to that height, but he has been steady, and he's going ahead.
No, I think the last time he was here, also he talked about his fight and everything. So, and which we wished him well, and which he did. He did well also. So it's like he said, he's moving up the ranks now, and as he's moving up now, it's getting difficult. So, and we wish that the more difficult he gets to that stage, the more he'll be able to adapt, and then to be able to move to the next step, because that's what we're wishing for. Because we want to see him one day come out as one of the greatest fighters that come out of UK. So we wish him well, though.
Good. Dan Aziz will be fighting Lawrence Ozueke. He is a big one, I have to say, and it's called the Golden Contract. That's what they have been timing.
I mean, the two of them have never lost any match with the level. And as he said, there's something he says you couldn't fight for Nigeria. After all, Anthony Joshua wanted to fight before he was rejected for Olympics, before everybody now becomes a brand. Right. Everyone uses him as a brand now. But we wish him well. It's always very gladdening, because you are in a whether we like it or not, we are minority here. That's the truth of the matter. We are minority here. My lecturer once told me in the master's class that what are you going to tell? Which story are you going to tell that the media will pick? Which story are you going to tell? How many people are you going to tell it to? When it comes to the larger society. So what story is he going to tell? That's why it deserves a lot of support from all of us. And we wish him so well, because for every success he made, you just mention his name now, Aziz. That tells it all. That name tells it all. That's the beauty of it.
Okay, guys, let's look at what happens tonight. We can't overflog it. It's just, there, staring at everyone's face. Saudi Arabia is the place to be, and Anthony Joshua is fighting Andy Ruiz.
It's a tricky fight. This is something, I'm a boxer. I'm a boxing fan. I don't really. My fear is that there's not a lot of confidence in this fight for Anthony Joshua. He is raring. He is trying to brave the defeat, but from his language, from his voice, you could pick there's a little bit of jitteriness there, and that is my fear. When you watch him before this fight, before in his previous fights, when he speaks to you, you could see there's this aroma of confidence and energy inside his voice. But this time around, there's this demeanor that's, he is trying to be brave to tell the world that, okay, because he knows that the risk there is that if he loses this fight, that might be the end of his boxing career, because people will not take him serious. The media will kill him.
As they have almost done now.
Yeah, so the media will destroy him. So, and trying to be cautious again in sports, it's one of the biggest problems, because when you're being cautious, that's when you make a lot of mistakes. He is trying to be cautious, not to over publicize the match, not to lay too much emphasis on the match, to say that the fight is all about him, not Ruiz. So he is trying to deflect the whole thing as much as he can. So, but I wish him well today, though. I wish that the first 2-3 rounds, he should use that to assert himself back again, to bring his old self back into the ring. And then if you see that old self again, Ruiz shouldn't be a problem for him.
I see it in a different way. I see that consciousness as what was missing in the first game. It was the shockest defeat in my life. Because when you look at the two of them, look at the height Antonio has gone to. Chilisco and Co. He's finished all of them. He retired all of them from boxing. To now get to this place, I just felt just flat like that. I am still waiting for the memos of that so I can read it. I still believe there's something hidden there.
No, I think for that aspect of it is that I believe that that was his first fight in America, and going to America, and that was when they offered him sponsor deals on TVs and boxings and all the rest in America. I think he lost focus a little bit about what he came to America to do. And then again, for the fact that again the person that he was supposed to fight failed a drug test. So they rushed in somebody Ruiz was an internet boxer.
Yes.
That was where he was popular. He's not popular on the mainstream boxing. So they needed a fighter to be able to cover that fight. So they got this thing. So he got complacent because thinking that, oh, he's just a mere boxer, I will knock him off. He took his eyes off the ball, but before he could realize it was on the floor. It was finished. They've counted him out. So that was like a big shock for him. So this is going to be a big lesson for him, and I think he has learned from his mistakes. Let us hope that he guides that mistake when he's inside.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That the complacency in the first game is different from now. He's put everything to it. He's seen the other side of boxing. That when you lose a fight in UK, when you lose a match in UK, you fall down. But by the time you are coming down, it dug a hole for you already. You are going to go deep inside. I saw Anthony Joshua in Lagos. I said, oh, you are welcome home. They truly show you that this is where you belong. That is the way here. So that mentality, it lost publicity. Perhaps it is deliberate or intentional. Or is it deliberate or they just made it look like that for him. But the truth of the matter is that once you lose here, not because he's a foreigner or because he's Anthony, Andy will become a Scottish when he loses. The national team, the rugby national team against South Africa, before that game, the national team, British national team was everywhere in the world. They were bringing ex-rugby fighters, everybody to support them. Immediately they lost that game. They were out again. They were out. Then they began to expose the problem. They didn't see that problem before they came in. No. They brought him up. They saw him as a... Now he's seen that side. That here, what I've always been reading about, that once you lose, you are done in UK, he has seen it now. So I want to believe that being who he is, I must commend him. That all this nonsense we've read about artists or boxers or personalities, we've not read those about him. And that gives me the confidence that he is who he is. And let's hope that this, to me, is a redemption fight for him. Yeah. Let's see, because all the great boxers have passed through this stage.
At one stage.
At one stage. They've been knocked off. And they've come back. Let's see if it's going to be, because to come back to this is going to be, they will be counted among the greats who have lost out and he has regained. So that's why I call it a redemption fight for him. But I have a feeling that by his weight loss, he's gone for agility. He's gone for speed. Now, rather than just cook boxing. Because if he's able to, this guy has gone for power now. Because he's put on so much weight. Now, that could be either disadvantage or to a disadvantage. But if Joshua could have the speed, he's a heavyweight boxer. Forget about the fact that he has lost weight. He's a heavyweight boxer who has done it before. If he could get him with the speed, he'll get him out. I just hope. He has the advantage of height as well. So many things went wrong before. Let's hope those things are back now as a complete package in this fight.
Okay, guys, I'm going to quickly do this with you guys. What round do you think that this fight will end, and to who do you think will take the belt?
I think Anthony Joshua will regain his belt, but it's not going to be easy. I think probably he might drag the fight, because for him to have any advantage over Ruiz, he needs to drag the fight over 8 rounds, and that's when he will be able to get that advantage. So the fight might start swinging his way between the 8 to 10 round.
I have feelings that he's going to regain it, but I have the fight problem that he's fighting against a global media in America, who never reckoned with Ruiz in any way, but he's giving America. See, that's one good thing about them, about this kind of people who knows him, internet boxer. All of a sudden now he's become the image of America. America is going to package him like that, and American politics and sport is together for them. But as you said, one of the reasons why Mike Tyson lost his crown is because they studied him that he couldn't go for long distance, and they dragged him out of the 4th, 5th round. He lost confidence and they knocked him out. Yeah. That was the strategy. If he could do that, I'm afraid that because how much shock he's able to take with his weight loss, another thing. But his coaches know this.
Good.
But I think he's going to have it.
We'll talk more about boxing. So if you want to hear more about boxing, all you need to do is stay with us because, at least 45 minutes before that fight, we will be live here and, of course, giving you all the stories you need to know about what is happening out there in Saudi Arabia. So stay with us. Put your fingers crossed. We'll be back here, before that fight to tell you everything and put you in the mood for that great fight in Saudi Arabia. Moving forward now, we'll take a break. When we come back, it will be time to truly look at the round letter game. They said EPL, so many things happening out there. CAF Champions League, only yesterday. Not too many goals were scored, but no challenges if you ask me. We'll come back, all of this, only on ABC Sports. Stay with me.
Everybody in London, have you heard that Heritage Television has come up with something new? All your functions and celebrations can now be multi-camera live stream that was only reserved for the rich and famous. Having a function in London can be viewed clean and clear immediately from any part of the world. Trust Heritage TV to give you a better reach. Heritage Television also does photography that will make you the envy of all your friends and family. Heritage Television is the best. All your functions like birthdays, funerals, weddings, church anniversaries or harvest. Heritage Television is the master. We are in the heart of London with an ultra-modern equipped studio. You can call us on 020 800 46100 or email us info@heritagetv.co.uk or mobile 0734 1234 560. Heritage Television will do you proud.
Wake the streets up. Yeah. Okay. Wake the streets up. Okay. Come on. Okay. Wake the streets up. Yeah. Okay.
Chris Obukwalo, Idris, and Antonio are here with me, and we're explaining what has since transpired in sports last week, and of course what is going to happen this week, and what's going to happen in the near future. Anyway, without wasting time now, it's time for us to actually talk about the EPL. Yeah, there were Tuesday and Wednesday matches, but before we do all of that, I think the best way to actually start will be to let's see the table where everyone stands, at this point. Then we will begin from there to X-ray. We know that Idris is in the studio.
That's what I'm saying. We don't even know where you belong.
You know that Idris in the studio today. We won't make him cry, but we will try as much as possible to tell him where exactly he stands in the
For now.
For now?
Yeah,
that might be to the end of the season. Because you guys are struggling really
You are
bad.
not a soothsayer, so you don't predict the
Struggling
future.
really bad, really
But
bad.
one of your co-players, Martin Keown, on radio yesterday, he said that Arsenal is exhibiting relegation form.
For the first time, I'm afraid of relegation. For the first time, I must confess, I'm afraid of relegation.
Why you are here? Let's do it this way. Tell us what in your own, thoughts is the problem with Arsenal, without taking sides, or what do you think, to be truthfully, is wrong with Arsenal?
We've been together on this program for a very long time. Remember what I told you about 3 or 4 years ago? That the more they kept Wenger in that place, Arsenal will go down. The truth of the matter is that our boys are not just average. They are below average. Football is played mostly in the midfield. The goals you score, the cover you have for defense is done mostly in the midfield. 10 years ago, Arsenal midfield would contribute nothing less than 20 goals in a season. At least 20 goals, Arsenal midfielders. And we can mention their names and see how many goals they've done in a year. In the last 5 years now, it began to diminish. The creativity began to diminish. In the 2-3 matches we have played last time, tell me where the creativity was going to come from in national midfield. Who does take on in Arsenal now? Nobody. They just pass away. When they collect the ball, where do they go? They pass sideways rather than go. Everything about Arsenal is wrong. The worst part of it is that the biggest problem America had was that he got consumed in the image of Wenger. He wanted to continue the tradition. Wenger is gone. Let's do away with. Wenger has an history. Let's do away with Wenger mentality. I'm not going to be disrespectful to any other team, apart from Man United and Arsenal, that have dominant style of play, dominant culture. Every other team in Premier League had none. They take on the image of the coach when it comes in. And it is because of the frequency of changes. These two teams have established a culture for so long time. No reason, no. I mean, you could see that the two are struggling because they still want to live in the image of the old. They had no image before those teams came.
Good.
When those teams came, they created it. So for as long as they want to continue that image, things will go wrong.
No, but
Idris, please give me a moment, please. I beg you. Why I will allow Idris to settle and find himself where they are truly at the.
No, I know.
I can't even recognize.
No, we are 5. Okay, we are 5. Let me put it this way.
Below
5 below.
I like that.
That's where you want to be.
Let's bring in a Chelsea man who is always with us on the program. They have an early kickoff. Perhaps you can also join this conversation with us. Tunde Adelakun joins us from his bed. Hello, Tunde. Welcome to ABC Sports.
Hello, good morning, everybody. How are you?
Good. I guess you've been following, the discussion in here. Idris have been trying to x-ray Arsenal and the problem with Arsenal. As a Chelsea fan, what do you think? And as an analyst, what do you think is actually the problem of this Arsenal that refuse to move forward? Perhaps a broken tire.
Let us leave the Chelsea part out of it because I wouldn't be very complimentary if I'm a Chelsea fan. However, the problem with Arsenal is one that Idris has highlighted quite well. The dynasty that Arsene Wenger created in Arsenal for 22 years was a long-standing one. There is no way it will there will be a smooth transition and everything continues as it were before. Arsene created an institution in Arsenal. Everything about Arsenal, the training ground, the stadium, the mentality, the staff, the approach, everything about Arsenal for 22 years was fashioned around Arsene Wenger. Yeah. He left some people behind, he took some with him. When he left, there's got to be a transition, and Arsenal fans have to be ready for it. Unfortunately, you can see that the dynasty of Alex Ferguson has not recovered yet. Since Alex Ferguson left Manchester United, they have, and I hope for the sake of my friends who are Arsenal fans that it doesn't take 7 years for Arsenal to recover, but it wouldn't be in 2 years. So that's the very first thing. Players, staff, people within Arsenal are used to the Wenger mentality, and there will be a time when it should phase off slowly and gradually. Because when you look at that squad, it's a very, very good squad. It's a very, very choice quality squad of players. Okay, forget the defense. Sometimes they have a few wobbles, but going forward, Arsenal is supposed to be an exciting team. Lacazette, Aubameyang, Ozil, Pepe, and then you have little boys like Saka, like Willock. I mean, for God's sake, Torreira is there holding the midfield. They have got an exciting squad. So the only thing that is wrong is that the Wenger mentality has not gone, and we have to allow its time to go away.
For you, if the club says no, then you leave. You're not begging for a job. You're coming from Paris Saint-Germain, so you have this big this thing behind you. You're coming to a team. They didn't give you any free hands to buy players. They didn't give you money for players. They tell you that they don't have money. Your bank account is only 50 million. 50 million, is it going to buy a striker or a defender? So when you accept all that condition and you want to change this thing, it's difficult, because for you to change the team, you have to bring in your own team. The team that was there was recruited, 3/4 of the team was recruited by Wenger when he left. So you don't have a team yet. And these guys, over the years, like he said, they have had this mentality of how Wenger has been treating them, how he's been doing things. So that is the problem.
Let's look at, anyway, we'll come back to look at what will happen today with whatever fixture you guys are having. But let's say, why Tunde will have Tunde here. Tunde, I think your game is the first for 12:30 UK time. It is Chelsea against Everton. Your thoughts for today's game?
Well, listen, it's going to be a very, very tough game again. This time last week, I was on this program saying that the West Ham game was going to be tough. This one is going to be even tougher. The Everton team has spent a lot of money. They have lost their manager in spite of the huge expense that they have put into the team. And today, unfortunately, as a Chelsea fan, I was thinking that they would wait until the last minute before they sack the manager. Now they have sacked the manager. They will be looking for a reaction. And that reaction may come today. And that makes it a very tough one for Chelsea to go to. They're very good away, Chelsea. You can't write them off, but Everton has got some choice players, and it will not be an easy run in the park for the Chelsea team. So I will forecast a draw.
Good. Why we you know too well, you Chelsea fan, but in your blood runs the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and one of those playing for the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be no other but a man who also plays for Everton. So you want him to do well, but let's confess, he has been showing, despite they have not been getting all the wins that one could look at, but he has been showing that he's a form to truly reckon with.
Listen, yes, it will be on the day of the Europa League final. I said to Alex Iwobi, he was playing for Arsenal at the time. I said to him, I hope you score against us, but we'll beat you 3-1. He scored. We beat them 4-1. Only this morning, he sent me a message, and I said, good luck today. This is the game between the team you went to and the team you should have come to. That is Everton against Chelsea. So we're looking out for him. And as you know, my blood runs Super Eagles. I've got green and blue blood running in me. And therefore, I am very, very passionate about my players in the Super Eagles team because I'm very, very close to a lot of them. And I hope he does very well today. I hope he plays well. And that's the most important thing. Let him play well. If he's going to get a goal, let him get one, but let Chelsea score a few more.
All right, what we're going to do, while we still have you there, what we're going to do is that we're going to quickly listen to the coach of Chelsea talking about today's game and how things will run. When we come back, we'll still talk more on the EPL. Stay with us.
What's your reaction to the transfer ban?
No, everything's very exciting.
It is what it is.
Very exciting.
Obviously, the club was working towards that, and it's a positive outcome for us. Allows us the potential to look at the market going forward. So I'm pleased from a footballing level. It was never my business to get involved in the reasons why or the legal side of it. I see it purely on the football level. So from my point of view, for the clubs moving forward, it's obviously a good thing.
From the head coach's point of view, what have the club's hierarchy said to you about January?
Nothing much, because it wasn't something to discuss at length until we knew the decision. So it would have been a waste of time to talk too much. The club have been working away, putting forward our case. I've been working away trying to get us doing okay on the pitch. And now it's a discussion that we can start taking up.
Can we now expect you to go for Jadon Sancho, Wilfred Zaha or Ben Chilwell?
I'm certainly not going to sit here today and go too far down any lines with that. But we'll see where we are. As I keep saying, I'm happy with the squad that we have here. I think we're doing okay. My job is always to focus on the next game and what's in front of us. And in terms of the bigger picture and what we do going forward, of course, that's constant and it's sometimes fluid. So there are no absolute answers at this point, of course.
How does Olivier Giroud's situation impact on potentially going after an attacker?
It doesn't. I don't consider it at all. Just consider, as I say, the squad that I've got now, and in January now we can consider those options.
Chelsea have got a lot of plaudits this season, without the need for making transfers in the summer with the young players. But if there is a position or two you feel needs strengthened, is that something you can say today? What have you communicated to evolve the position?
Again, I haven't had that conversation because we couldn't buy it. But what I will say is that the fact that people have given us a lot of credit, I think, is because probably they expected less of us. So I think we have to give credit to the group that are working now to get to where we got to. I still want more and still think we could have more points and be higher up the table. That's my feeling. As we go forward, of course, if I feel or we feel as a club that there are positions we can strengthen, then we would obviously look at that, as all big clubs do. That's why people expected less of us this season, because lots of clubs around us, below us, were spending 100 million or 150 million, and we didn't have that chance, and we lost Eden Hazard and we lost 2 number 9s. So that was obviously in everyone's mindset. Now the picture's slightly changed, and it's important that we get it right moving forward.
Last couple, Paul.
You face Everton at the weekend. What's your experience as both a player and a manager of coming up against a club that has just dismissed their manager?
Well, first of all, any trip to Everton is tough. I went there as a player many a time, and the atmosphere of the stadium, the support of the home fans is big. I'm sure there'll be a bounce effect for them, and they've got one of their heroes in charge of them for this game, and in the short term or whatever. So I think we have to be very much on guard against a team that are feeling the way they are. We slightly had it with West Ham last week. There was a lot of talk about what bad form they were in, what it might be if they lost another game, and we lost a match. So there's a small reminder for us last Saturday, and this will be, as far as preparation, from my point of view, exactly the same. What I'll tell the players, it's a dangerous team to play at this moment particularly.
Just a quick one about injury news. How is Tammy Abraham and also Antonio Rudiger? Can we expect to see him?
Tammy Abraham is good. He's good. He hasn't done much in between games, so we'll make sure of that in the morning. But at the moment, he's good. And with Tony, he's had a really good week of training. We had to get him some sort of match fitness kind of training, which he's gone through this week. So tomorrow comes too soon, but he's had a great week where he's on the verge.
How much would going into the transfer market be another big challenge for you as a manager?
Well, challenge, yeah. And I suppose the one thing I felt that probably personally that affected me in the summer with the transfer ban is that when you come into a club or when you want to go a certain way at a club, sometimes players you bring in and the attributes of them are key to that. And so I couldn't make any of those changes to bring players that I felt would help the way I want us to play. Going forward, I think that's something I will put forward to the club. It's a much bigger process now than just me making a decision on who we buy. It doesn't work that simply. So it won't be just myself that gets it right or wrong. But as a club, we'll have full discussions. I've got a very open conversation with Marina and the owner, so they know where I'm coming from. I know where they're coming from. Any recommendations I make to improve the squad will be, as I see, can improve us in the way and the shape we want to go. So yeah, it will be a challenge, and hopefully we can get it right.
And throughout your career, you'd have had a dressing room whereby, be it with you or another player, another star player was being linked with the club or came into the club. How did you react to that as a player? Did you always make you improve your game and say, I'm going to show him I'm still better than him, I'm going to keep my place?
Yeah, not as simply as that across my whole career, because it has slightly different feelings sometimes. But generally, yes, it did do that for me. When Roman Abramovich came to Chelsea, the landscape changed. Players came in my position from Makelele from Real Madrid and Varane, etc. And it made me sit up and take notice and go, I want to.
Indeed, and that's Lampard telling us all that truly should transit with Chelsea Football Club. We still have Tunde there, who is excited with what is happening with Chelsea. But then again, he has this thought for these players for Super Eagles of Nigeria. Just before I bring Tunde in, guys, without no doubt, we'll give credits to what Lampard has done. But then again, let's just move over to Iwobi. How has his performance been since joining Everton? Let's wrap that up first.
He's been not too high, not too low. It's been a mixed one. Of course, it has to be. It's a new ground for him. This is a boy schooled in Wenger. Schooled in Wenger's life all his life. But the only good thing I made about him in Arsenal, that's the only player we have, no matter how inconsistent he is, that can carry the ball. He has done that in Everton. He's beginning to establish himself as a force. He has lost the ball, he has recovered it. He has scoring goals in Everton. He has added speed and the technicality that's not normally associated with Everton. What he needs is the kind of acceptability that he has in Arsenal that will guarantee him every regular game.
Good.
Once you do that, he's a wonderful player.
No, I think he needs to establish himself because of the Richarlis and the rest of them will not sit down and wait for him to, he's coming with a big pedigree coming from Arsenal to the team, so he needs to show why he's coming from Arsenal there. And whatever he's learning from Arsenal, he has to put that aside now and learn the culture of Everton. So and I believe that I've watched him play. I've seen his game. His game is still, the way he plays in Arsenal is still the same way he wants to play in Everton. That will not work. You understand? So he needs to adapt to the system of the team and then, pick a little bit, try to make yourself friends and pals to one or two other players, and then you can now use that means to establish yourself in the team.
I have to say, whenever you speak about these players, I keep telling them, listen to Tony. Because what you told Kelechi, I say, listen to him. And Kelechi, if you don't listen, then it's not working. But I think he's beginning to listen and it's beginning to work for him.
Yeah, Iwobi has a very good pedigree. He's been schooled on how to pass the ball, how to hold the ball. He knows how to carry the ball. He now knows the way Everton plays. If you can marry the two, you will excel in that stage.
Good, let's bring Tunde in because of time. And Tunde, just to know, what are your predictions for this afternoon game, Everton against Chelsea? Yeah, I think a big cracker it is. What are your predictions for this afternoon game? I think we have it. Okay.
Yes,
Tunde, if you can hear me, what are your predictions for this afternoon game?
I think Everton, they will have a reaction. They react to the fact that they just lost the money. They want to prove to the fans that good and that they just had a blip. Chelsea always is good going forward. Very successful. They play their pranks back and about the young boys, Zuma, and all that. So for a draw, a score draw.
This makes me laugh.
I think if it is just 1 or 2-1, Chelsea is going to win this game. Because Chelsea is a very exciting team. Everybody didn't have that hope.
As exciting as when Mourinho was there?
Look, the beauty about Chelsea now is that they look up to a manager who has scored 200 goals as a midfielder. So what are you going to do? I watched his clips yesterday in training. And he tried excites me. You said something that when you know the man who mother you are knows this job more than you.
You're exciting today.
This job more than you. And that he has come to Chelsea as a star speed. They wobble initially, but
You see, the danger for Chelsea is because of a young team, and stability is very, very important. If they have a little bit of wobble, which they had against West Ham, and they don't, there's no, the only good side is that they have the big heads like the Aspilicuetas who are there to be able to say, okay, boys, calm down, that's just a defeat, let us move forward. And also, you know that Everton always gives Chelsea problem in Everton. That's when you see Everton playing their good game. And Everton also has a young team. So it will be youth versus youth, and which, in terms of abilities, Chelsea has that, and that is the only danger. But the danger is because of the players who want to prove a point to the new that they're expecting that the interim coach. That is the danger only. But I see Chelsea, if they keep their heads down, they might win the game.
Okay, if there's any other game that truly should bring excitement this evening, that's City against United. And that's another big game. Rashford is uncatchable. He has been suppressing the big four. He has been showing that he truly deserves a medal. City, another big team, Sterling and
a little bit, because of the floppy defeat to Tottenham, which Tottenham didn't even turn up in that game. So they have used that as a stepping stone for this match. Because if they had lost that game or didn't play well, you automatically would have been rooting for City. But with this defeat, with this victory now, that's giving him a little bit of confidence. As we all know, he's not playing well. Aguero is injured. So, and City is doing everything possible to make sure that they catch up with Liverpool, keep winning. And that draw.
Rashford is a fire right now, and they're all in Manchester. It's another derby on it. This evening game is another one to be.
If you see football, sometimes you have this love of economics, but the love of diminishing returns. If you used to watch the section of the rap, you know it was a war. If you get Manchester when those era came, you can't find it. That tells you how big it is. But City have lots of age. It's only talk of pressure. If they forget that pressure today, Man United, they will power them. It's that pressure. Where every department is complete. Speed, accuracy of goal. But they've lost that edge. Imagine they win against Tottenham. The midfield of City is packed. In the first 20 minutes, the direction of the game will be clear. If they attack, they will be gone. They can have a drop. This team is shaking. Because just last season, Liverpool surrendered 11 points lead. If they still dwell in that, no, this team is different. But let's go for a draw.
Okay, I'm not sure if Tunde is still with us on the show to give us his thoughts on this game, or Tunde, let's have you. This is another game for this evening. What are your thoughts for tonight's game?
I think that I think Manchester United have come in leaps and bounds over the course of the season. They've had the wobble, they've had the recovery, they had another wobble, and they had another recovery again when they beat Tottenham last weekend. I can tell you though that Manchester City is not going to let this one go. I believe that Manchester City will take it. Not because they're playing that much better football than United are, but number one, they're playing at home. And number two, going forward, they are lethal. They are absolutely dangerous going forward. So United have a few young boys that they will have to bring into the team because of some injuries and some absences. City will play on that one. City have the edge when it comes to the psychological advantage of Pep being the manager, being able to galvanize these boys and tell them what the importance of the derby is. I don't think Ole is at that point yet, and I don't think the character of the team, as a unit, is good enough to go to the Etihad and do anything against Man City. So I believe, knowing full well that anything but a win will take the title totally and completely away from Man City, they will do everything to win this game, and I think they will just about edge it.
You didn't give me score line.
2-1. 2-1 to City.
That's a very close call.
Before I leave you, is there any friendly coming up for this Dilly Darling?
No, we have World Cup qualifiers coming in March of next year. That's the next time we have an international break, and that's what we're going to be doing. There will be the draw for the World Cup qualifiers in January in Cairo, very early in January on the 7th, and then we will know which group we find ourselves, and the first game in that qualification series will be in March towards the end. No friendlies before then because there's no FIFA window.
Thank you for joining us. I truly appreciate your time. Hopefully to speak with you next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tunde Adelako joining us from his base in London. Without wasting time now, let's quickly take this break. When we come back, it will be time to truly wrap up the show. But before we wrap up the show, there's still so many to also talk to you about, especially those in Africa. There's story coming in. Of course, there are also EPL games we will be talking about because we haven't talked about everything. The London Derby is on Monday. Some are already shaking. And Arsenal sustaining. We will return.
We will pull through.
Everybody in London, have you heard that Heritage Television has come up with something new? All your functions and celebrations can now be multi-camera live stream that was only reserved for the rich and famous. Having a function in London can be viewed clean and clear immediately from any part of the world. Trust Heritage TV to give you a better reach. Heritage Television also does photography that will make you the envy of all your friends and family. Heritage Television is the best. All your functions like birthdays, funerals, weddings, church anniversaries or harvest. Heritage Television is the master. We are in the heart of London with an ultra-modern equipped studio. You can call us on 020-800-46100 or email us info@heritagetv.co.uk or mobile 0734 1234 560. Heritage Television will do you proud.
Wake the streets up. Yeah.
Welcome back to your program, ABC Sport, with yours sincerely, Chris Obukwel, Tony, and of course Idris are here with me. We're deliberating on how things are. Remember, you can join us on Facebook and of course Twitter, and not forgetting Periscope. These are all avenues in which you can have a bite, if not a dose, of the show. You can also join us on YouTube. We are all live on these social medias. We're here every Saturday from 10:15, 10:30 thereabout. And of course, I will push you all through 12:30. Without wasting time, we will be looking at all other EPL fixtures, as it were. Let's quickly, begin to touch on and those we haven't touched on. But if you're just joining us, we've been, too far apart. We're truly into it. Let's, look at Tottenham and Burnley. Tottenham, I'm not sure with Mourinho what happened, during the week. It looked a team he called non-existent, a team that can't win. It took 3 points off him.
Yeah, but the thing is that we are all losing the fact that he's just there for just 2 weeks. So there's nothing that he would have done that would have impacted anything on the team yet for now. Because if you watch all through the season, Tottenham's defense have been leaking goals, and that has been their Achilles heel. The only thing is that let them not fall back again into this their old mentality that they had when Mauricio Pochettino was there. So, and he needs to drag that mentality away from them and then try to implement 1 or 2 ways of how to stop the goals, because they are good going forward. They have a very good attack. They have a very good team. If you look at that team, they have a very good team. But you try to ask yourself, what is the underlying problem? There is an underlying problem, and that is what he needs to find out, what that thing is, because that was what wrecked Mauricio Pochettino. That underlying problem is what he has to find out, and then stop that listen. Then you see Tottenham come back to become the force that they were before. So Burnley, oh God, what can I say about Burnley? They're a team that on the day they can cause you a lot of problems because of their height football. They put a lot of balls into the 18, and then all the defenders will keep heading. So
typical English football.
Yeah, so it's the only good thing is that they're playing in Tottenham, which is a big pitch. So, and Tottenham needs to keep hold of the ball. That's the only way they will win the game.
The good thing Mourinho that's done so well in this few weeks is the revitalization of Ali. Ali was almost dead before. We didn't hear anything about him again, and that was one of the problems that Mourinho has. When that engine room dies off, it becomes, because it's a unit. They've all played together. When they move, they know where Ali is. When Ali flicks the ball, they know who is there. If one of them is off, there's a problem. Song is not just song, it's going, move forward. Someone has to supply the pass to him. Ali has done that now, since he came back now. I'm not surprised that they lost in Man United, because we noticed what Mourinho was going to do there. Mourinho knew how good Man United is. What he wanted to do was to stop them from playing. Tottenham don't do that any longer. Tottenham no longer. That's where the problem. That's why everybody is cautious about Mourinho.
No, because if you look at the team, Tottenham team, you find out that there's no energy in the team, and that is the problem. That with all Mourinho's team, there's a lot of energy when you're from Chelsea and all the rest, and he needs that energy to come back to the team, because when they have that energy, then they can high press, and then they can give the defense a little bit of breather to push forward, and then stop that. If you look at the match against Man United, Rashford had too much room. Space, yeah. Too much room.
And that's because of the way Mourinho was going to play there. We don't want to stop them. We don't want to defend against them.
He had too much room. So, and with the pace that he has and James has, so you don't give such players that room, because they will run at the defense, and then the defense has no choice.
One of the most dangerous young players you have here is Rashford.
So they gave him that room to operate, because if you block the room, he won't see anywhere to play, and then he will be frustrated. So, but the way Tottenham is playing now, they need to find energy from somewhere, whether they need it from the moon or whatever, but they need to find energy to bring it into that team to be able to come back to where they were.
But isn't football a funny game? Look at Tottenham, who played in the Champions League. Look at Tottenham, the only team that caused trouble for Liverpool and Man City. Just look at where they are now.
that is why we are saying there is an underlying problem, and that underlying problem, it might not be Pochettino, it might be something else, but they need to find out what.
It might be within Ericsson leaving, because Ericsson has been with this. Pochettino brought them together for about 4 or 5 years. He gave them everything Tottenham never had before.
Okay, guys, let's look at something else because of time. Sunday games, also coach Leicester with new manager signing, new contracts, which is really, what they could have wanted. I mean, it's going well. They're confronting Aston Villa. Kelechi, Nigerians own, is doing very well. Not doing very well. Perhaps one goal and everybody's all screaming. Okay, keep up the pace. That's what we'll say from this end.
Because we know that he didn't have the time playing.
But you have to show. You have to show the coach.
Come on, it's not about. It's not about coach every time. We know the politics in football. I agree with you. If Kelechi has a run, you've forgotten that Kelechi came from Man City, where he wasn't playing well. But every time they brought him in, Kelechi would score a goal. Man City, full of talent. What would quickly kill him there, if not because of game time? Kelechi is a very good player. He just needs a regular, if it's just 10 minutes at the end of the game. You've forgotten that people, if you put your car at home, when you come back next 2 or 3 weeks, if you don't start, if you don't warm the car, it gets a problem with the engine. Just like that with human being. If it is just 10 minutes, Kelechi has to run around and find his teammates. Come on. But let's hope he's back.
I will go on another direction, in terms of I want to go towards to the mentality of players and then how they behave and what it is for him. Because he's coming from Man City, you're correct. He's coming from a bigger team. He is being looked upon to perform for them. You understand? Because when you're stepping down, from a big team, that's the danger of a big team. If you're stepping down from a big team to a lower team, that lower team is expecting you now to carry the team on your back. That's why they are bringing you, because they are bringing you down. So Kelechi, right, felt, I've arrived. When you do that as a player, you have not. He was lucky. His first major contract was with Man City. And it's a big team. So what do? That city, because where you're going, there are lots of big names there. So you might not have the opportunity. So what do? If you have a snip of the team to play in that team, you must make sure that you're gripping that jersey to the rest. Because any little slip, you fall back again to the bench. So that is what is happening. He knows the team he's going to. He knows he's not going to get a regular shirt there. But he knows that he will learn from the coaches there. So what do you do now? You push yourself. You push yourself beyond the way you were playing as a junior team player. You push yourself. You learn from those big players. And you learn out of hard work. I've watched him play. If somebody goes with him 50 to 50, he loses the ball. No, when you do that, you now go back and start toughening up yourself. Because the Premier League is a tough league. You have to be physically fit. Yes, he has the skill, he has the ability, he has everything. But he needs to be strong. Vardy does not have any skill, but Vardy has the strength. He has the strength and then the speed. That's what he uses. He dodges from the side and comes in. They put the true pass on him.
He runs you off.
So, and he runs for 90 minutes.
I have to also say, guys, that apart from all of this, I mean, the goals being scored from players, now that you talk about Vardy, he's one of those who, many will. You say, but he is, physically strong, he banks in the goal. I mean, he was being played almost all the time. Would Kelechi get this for Leicester if given the time?
Look, Kelechi is a different player. Kelechi is an all-round player. He can pick the ball from the midfield, he can distribute well, he can go ahead to the end. Is Leicester playing that type of game? No. Leicester look forward to cluster the midfield for you, take the ball and put it straight away where the man takes it and run. As Tony said, maybe now needs to learn from how they operate their own. If you come from City and think that you are going to use the skill of City, don't play like that in Leicester.
See, you see the difference. The difference with City and Leicester is that if you put, let me say, an average player, yeah, who would I put in the league? Let me know. So if you put an average striker in City, he will score. You know why? Because the City will create like 10 chances for him. So eventually he might score 1 or 2. Yeah. So every week he will be scoring. It's different when you bring that same striker and put him in Leicester. Leicester will not create that. Maybe in the 90 minutes they create only 2 chances. So that is where the problem is. He was coming in from the bench and scoring for Man City because of the chances were being created even while he was coming in. But in Leicester, you have to join the creativity of this team. You have to find a way to create your own chance to be able for you to get the pass to score. So that's the difference. They create for him. Here, they don't create for him. He has to find a way of helping those people to create his own chance and for them to see him and give him that last pass.
My worry for him was that initially in Leicester, he was doing well. Initially, when he first came to Leicester, he was getting regular games. I still have absolute confidence in Nacho that when he gets regular games, he will perform. My worry is that he's not getting them.
Okay, guys.
How that happens, I do not know. But my worry was that he came to them when they were going for the World Cup. That was when they got City, and there was no way we would have that chance because they needed Leicester. Leicester needed Vardy to compete well in the national team, and they have to give him.
Let's talk about Monday's game.
I'm not scared.
Arsenal and West Ham. West Ham are beginning to find a rhythm, although they're having a bigger team, But now this is the best time actually. They have to play Arsenal. Let's put it that way. But let me start with Tony first before I come to what you think about it.
No, West Ham against Tottenham. You could see that the second half of the game, West Ham came into the match, so they almost had a draw in that game. So and which they took to Chelsea. They have played Chelsea, and they deserve the win. So coming to play Arsenal now, who is still very much, their confidence is so low. The coach also is screaming, where is he going to get the confidence from? The players have no direction. The players don't even know whether they are passing the ball or they want to play a long kick or they want. If you watch the game against Brighton, they make 1 or 2 sideways passes, and the next one there's a long kick and then the defenders just controls the ball. So you will start wondering. What is the ideology of this team? So they don't have any. So that's the difficult side of it. So and West Ham will never have the better opportunity in life to play Arsenal. Now, this is the best time to play Arsenal, and I believe that come Monday, with the way Arsenal form is, West Ham is going to win.
When Pepe came in, all of you were screaming, especially people like Idris. The main man has landed. I mean, we are going to be on top of the league. Pepe is still with them. I think you are in the 10th position.
No, let me tell you what happens to Pepe. And I will tell you where Tunde agree with me on Wenger ideology from. Wenger buys a player for who he is. Rather than use him for who he is, he begins to convert that player. Rather than use the strength of the player, he began to convert the player to the mentality of Arsenal. Well, Bayern was running where he was coming from. You put him, he runs, he's gone. In Arsenal, he doesn't run.
He's waiting for the pass.
He's waiting for the pass. That was what is killing Pepe now. Pepe has the speed, he has the energy. You expect Arsenal, they want a winger to can unleash him there. But the build-up to that pass is, Pepe is already dead. Pass. The only thing that excites them is when they have 22 touches. And in the Premiership, they've got to know them now. I read the analysis of Brighton in Evening Standard. The captain said, what we did was very simple. We knew what we needed to do was to turn the crowd against Arsenal. We were blocking them, we were harassing them everywhere. They gave up. And we just went to them and destroyed them. Look at that template. That means the fear factor It's gone. And when the fear factor is gone, the average player is exposed. Now, if the good thing about the last loss now, is that I saw the players getting angry at each other. That, to me, excites me. Rather than as the media portrayed, that there's a crisis. No. I saw that they got angry with each other now.
Okay,
so if that anger works, maybe we could have
I will let you continue, but let me quickly say this to the viewers. Remember, we are in the 15th. They have all played 15th, and of course today's game will be the 16th. But earlier on, I think our graphics was showing the Saturday's one. We didn't add the week game, so it is the 15th. Arsenal are not in the 8th position; they are found in the 10th. That is where they are stored in. It's Tottenham that is stored in the 8th. Liverpool still leads anyway. Yeah, that's the right one, the 15th. That's what, Arsenal is somewhere down the line.
No,
anyway.
You don't worry. I have a feeling that we are going to beat
West Ham.
West Ham.
West Ham are
because
in the 15th position.
West Ham will come and want to do the template. That's why I said the anger within the players excites me. And that means that they know something is wrong among themselves. I mean, they can put it right.
Good. Okay, what would be your scoreline?
No, it's difficult because for the first time I'm afraid of relegation. But we will win that game, maybe 2-1. We will win that game. Yeah.
That's a bit optimistic.
Yeah, we will win that game. And once we win that game,
then everything turns
around. Yeah.
Are you changing the coach? Is that not a formidable thing to do?
Which coach?
Do you have a coach?
No, we have a caretaker. You see, people who created problem in Arsenal are looking for another coach. People who bought every player, who brought a coach that does not speak English. They're not looking for another coach. Those who should be sacked themselves for creating the problem, they're the one looking for solution now. That's how bad it is.
I'm done with you people. Please, Tony, we're running off. Please, your turn before we go.
Well, I think it's going to be a very, 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 very interesting game because Arsenal needs they need a pedestal, somewhere to stand on and then raise back their head because I think, and such matches against West Ham, if they win it, might give them that. But at the same time too, there is some kind of a mental block with the players. You know, not knowing the direction where they're going to, not knowing what they want to do, and not knowing how they're going to go about it. So that needs to get away from them. And I don't think Lundberg is the man to be able to do that for them. No. So, and quickly, the faster they'll be able to get a coach that will come in, use this January that we're going in now to see if you'll be able to get one or two other players to come in and then restabilize this thing. Let them, they're not going to qualify in the Champions League.
No.
Let them stabilize the bleeding of goals and then the defeats. Then they can now rebuild from next season.
The prayer is that we should not go relegation, not Champions League.
all right. We can see the fear in the house of Arsenal. But then again, let's stop a bit for Europe and quickly travel to Africa and see if we can perhaps get our head around the problems that are emanating. Earlier on this, before I started, I told you that the Sierra Leonean League has since started without any TV at all, no coverage. That's not to say that in Nigeria there is any coverage. It's still the same dark blankets. Everybody goes to the game without nothing really. I have said without the TV, you're not developing the game. Nothing is really going forward. You are all. It's what I would call in my own word caricature. You're still playing around. That's what it is. But today we will. Why not see exactly? I think there's a problem in Zimbabwe. The only person that will give us the tonic in Zimbabwe is a man we confide in. The CEO of Team Zimbabwe UK, Marshall. He will join us with the little time we have to truly tell us, give us a picture of what exactly is the problem with the football in Zimbabwe. Marshall, welcome to ABC Sports. How are you doing?
This is Marshall. Go.
Good afternoon, Chris. Good show, guys. Good to see my good friend Idris as well. And Tony, you guys are doing a fantastic job.
Thank you, Marshall. Marshall, I can't get my head around what is happening in Zimbabwe and football. Can you, with the little time we have, tell us exactly what is happening?
Well, we seem to have some issues with our administration, and these issues have been there for quite some time. We have a new ZIFA board, a new ZIFA executive that is running our football. And to be also fair, most of the guys that are at the helm now are fairly new into football at this level. So they have struggled to find their feet in dealing with some of the problems. Some of the problems are historic, but again, we expect some form of difference from the new administration. And in their last year, I'm not convinced whether they've made the right progress. I think many feel that they've actually made things worse than they were before.
What is the way forward, looking at how things have developed?
Well, it's very difficult to give an overall solution without giving a proper examination of the problem. I actually think our problems are chronic. Some of them emanate from poor administration. Some of them emanate from lack of funding, and some of them also emanate from lack of good use of resources that we get from FIFA and the Confederation of the African Football Body. So I think we need a whole overall of our football. Also, government has to play a part looking at infrastructure. They have to come in and commit a lot of money towards infrastructure development. I think you are quite aware that KEF visited to inspect our stadiums last month, and they condemned our national sports stadium. I think they inspected 4 stadiums in the country, and only one stadium made it to meet the international requirements to host international football matches. Surely, we can't be a football nation that has only one stadium that can qualify to host international matches. This is ridiculous for us as Zimbabwe. We must improve. I'm disappointed with the outcome of that inspection, and what it does is that it renders us a new problem again, that we need to look at our infrastructure development besides the administrative issues that we have currently.
I know you are very passionate when it comes to Zimbabwe and how things will be managed out there. What it simply means is that you are in your lowest low, if you have to put it that way, in terms of football development. With this, it simply means that your grassroots is not growing. Everything is like, locked down. Now you're calling in the government to come in, but then again, when the government come in, there is FIFA acts holding on, saying, please take your hands off at some point.
No, we are calling in the government to develop sporting infrastructures in the country. So this is the government has a duty under the Ministry of Sports to ensure that sports and recreational facilities are developed in the country. That should not be left alone to the Football Association. But that said, I'm not isolating or exonerating the Football Association from their mandate and responsibility to develop grassroots football. I personally feel we need a new grassroots development program that is very comprehensive, and that also includes the diaspora, because we now live in a global world where many of us are here and playing a big part to promote and support grassroots football in Zimbabwe. So I think we need to improve in terms of our management. We also need to improve in terms of our investment into sports as a whole. We need private investment into sports. Sports here is developed. Most of these Premier League clubs that we are talking about, that's private investment that has made the English football what it is. Some investment has actually come from abroad to invest in these clubs. So us as Africans, we must also treat football as a business. And actually football is the big business in the world. So we need to look at our models, review our models, look at our character, look at our, what do we want? What is our vision for African football? I think, Chris, going back again to Zimbabwean football, I think despite the challenges we have had, we have still have a good hand internationally. In the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers for the next Africa Cup of Nations, we beat Zambia away in Lusaka 2-1. We are second in our group to Algeria. So again, that's not bad. And also one of our clubs, Platinum, that is playing in the African Champions League, is actually doing quite well. They play at Al Shahal of Egypt this weekend, and we are hoping for a good result. But again, the disappointing thing is that Platinum were supposed to play their fixture at home, but they cannot because Mandawa Stadium, which is their home ground, has been condemned. But I must also make it very clear that Mandawa Stadium has been condemned, not because of the problems with the stadium, but because there's no good hotel infrastructure in the town. The stadium itself is beautiful, but the problem is that there is no close by international standards hotel near. So therefore, their game has to be moved to Blawayo, which is about 150 kilometers away. So they will lose the home advantage today. But again, it's an infrastructure issue. Why don't we have a viable hotel in Zishawani?
Can I quickly ask, how about the Zimbabwean League? How is it doing?
The Zimbabwean League is doing well despite its challenges. It's coming to an end. I think we've got 2 games left now to go. But again, there have been a lot of challenges with clubs. A lot of historic clubs have folded because of financial problems. So the league is dominated by a lot of clubs that have come in the last 5-6 years that are supported by mines. The mines are doing well, so they've ventured into football development and set up community clubs that are actually doing well. But the disappointing thing is that because these clubs are new, they don't have the fan base that we have. But the 3 biggest clubs in Zimbabwe, Dynamos, Highlanders, and Cape United, are still doing well and competing, even though with low budgets. They've lost the revenue from TV, which you mentioned. Our PSL went for the whole season today, this year, without no sponsorship. They lost their sponsorship with SuperSport satellite TV in South Africa. And up to now, they have not found any sponsor to put their games on TV. The attendance is dwindling, obviously, because of the economic challenges that the country has been going through. But overall, I can say football is still the biggest sport in Zimbabwe, and we have hope despite the challenges we have faced. And I can also add that my club, Cape United, I sit in the board. They're on the verge of winning the league if they win their next game this weekend.
Brilliant. That simply means we'll bring the trophy.
I can see you smile for the first time.
We'll bring the trophy. Okay, just before we allow you go, this afternoon there is a game. It's Everton versus Chelsea. Chelsea is one of the clubs you support in Europe. What are your thoughts for the game?
I think it's going to be a tough game for Chelsea. Obviously, because Everton sacked their manager and they've brought in Big Dunk to take care of the team, and they're playing at home. So I gather the mood is going to be buoyant at Everton. They will expect a reaction from the players, which is obvious. But I think also with Chelsea, we are getting stronger. And like these guys have said that Frank Lampard has done a beautiful job in bringing and retaining confidence at Chelsea with a young squad. But I actually think that we will stand our ground against Everton today because we are lethal when it comes to attack. And I think Everton will come at us and they will invite trouble, and Chelsea will fight back like we saw against Man City. That Chelsea this season again had more possession against Man City, and created more chances against Man City, which is pretty much the biggest threat in the Premier League. So I'm confident that it will be a tough game, but I'm confident that Chelsea might, on a counter-attack, take the game 2-1.
Thank you very much, Masha, for joining us. Hopefully we'll bring you back into the studio at some point. Thank you very much.
Chris, it's a pleasure. Edris and Tony, guys, have a good afternoon.
You too. Well, guys, I don't want to say your reaction because it's going to kill our time in here. Let's just go. Let's go, because the problem in Africa is big guy when we begin to analyze.
You cannot divert Zimbabwe. If you look at what happens in Zimbabwe, economically, Zimbabwe is gone. So when a country is gone economically, then you begin to see the byproducts. Just look at how sad it is.
Can I just ask, what's the difference between Zimbabwe and Nigeria?
No, Zimbabwe has economic challenges.
And Nigeria has...
No, Nigeria doesn't have economic challenges.
What do they have?
No. Corruption. Zimbabwe actually has economic problems.
Yes, guys, let's go home, please. Time doesn't allow me to go further. Let's go home. Let's go. Tony, let's go home. Forget it.
You see why you cannot apply for that?
I know
you see why you cannot apply for national coach?
Because it's always direct, isn't it? Guys, we're wrapping it up. A very big thank you for coming in, Tony. It's been nice having you in here. And of course, Idris, it's always a joy when you're inside the studio. Thank you for coming in, guys.
It's a pleasure.
Remember, we'll be back here later tonight when it is boxing time. And Tony Joshua gets ready for Andy Reid. We'll be back and to tell you all about it. So stick with us on our platforms. Heritage TV on the Periscope, Twitter, YouTube, and not forgetting Facebook. All the social media thing. We will be back, and that simply means joy for us because it will just be boxing only. Very big thank you to Mr. Thomas, who have been at the back of the camera. Everybody who has been at the back of the camera doing all the work. I haven't changed my name. I won't. On the day I do, you will be the first to know. Chris Obokwa is my name. So long, everybody. Bye bye now.
It's wasted because this man, the people.
Everybody in London, have you heard that Heritage Television has come up with something new? All your functions and celebrations can now be multi-camera live stream that was only reserved for the rich and famous. Having a function in London can be viewed clean and clear immediately from any part of the world. Trust Heritage TV to give you a better reach. Heritage Television also does photography that will make you the envy of all your friends and family. Heritage Television is the best. All your functions like birthdays, funerals, weddings, church anniversaries or harvest. Heritage Television is the master. We are in the heart of London with an ultra-modern equipped studio. You can call us on 020-800-46100 or email us info@heritagetv.co.uk or mobile 0734 1234 560. Heritage Television will do you proud.
Wake the streets up.